What's up, you guys? Sasha Boss here, and today I'm doing another movie review. And this movie in particular is the brand new horror film that came out, I think it came out July, late June. The movie is called The Black Phone. Or originally it was called The Black Phone, but then I think it got added the to it. Regardless, this is the new horror film called The Black Phone. It just recently dropped on not Paramount Plus. It just dropped on Peacock the other day, and I just absolutely enjoyed this movie. So, with that all being said, this movie review will be non-spoilers, so no spoilers are allowed in our wonderful review of the brand new horror film called Black Phone. So starting things off about this movie, going into this movie, I was super excited about this. Ever since I saw Halloween Ends, I saw that first trailer in that theater, I was absolutely blown away. I mean, Halloween Kills, not Halloween Ends. So after I saw Halloween Kills, I saw the trailer of Black Phone, and it got me hooked. It got me hooked. Every single time I seen the trailer, it got me hooked. It got me hooked. And it finally reeled me in now to watch this movie. I've been waiting a couple months to see this, and I've been debating to see it in theaters. I kind of regret not seeing it, but it's kind of worth it seeing it on Peacock because it's free, and it saves you money. And also, I was at the theater yesterday. Okay, guys, so every single time I saw the trailer, like I said, I got hyped, I got drawn. So every time I saw it, I'm like, yes, it feels like Steven Spielberg, Stephen King. It felt like every time I saw the trailer, it felt like a Stephen King film. It felt like something you see in the 1980s. And all that stuff going into this movie made me even more happy. Even though also the villain too, which is called the Grabber. I don't want to give too much away about that, but he looks amazing. So that's what I can say about going into this film. Okay, guys, with that all being said about going into this movie, I'm gonna start off with the characters. So the characters you get this movie, you get Finney, which is a really nice young kid actor who's really good. He did really well with understanding the dramatic effects, and I think he really handled himself pretty well in this movie. I don't know if he's inspired by it at all with his role, but kudos to him. Really good actor. I really appreciate what he's doing. He also has a sister, which I can't remember the name at the moment. The sister is named Gwen. So before I talk about Gwen, I forgot to mention we gotta talk about the plot before we move on to the sister named Gwen. Okay, so bear with me. The plot of this whole film, guys, revolves around this abducting of children, probably the ages around middle school and maybe the ages of 5th grade at the highest. Well, mostly middle school, maybe early high school. But this whole movie revolves around this mysterious man called the Grabber. The Grabber takes all these kids and puts them in his basement, and he kind of sits there and watches them rot. So one day, Finney gets abducted, similar to Georgie and Pennywise, and he ends up in the Grabber's hands, and he is in this basement, and he doesn't know how to escape. And he gets these visions from this black phone. It's called Black Phone, obviously, because Black Phone gets these visions of the Black Phone, visions of the other people who were in the hands of the Grabber. So without that giving away too much of the plot, I know it's not a spoiler at all. It's pretty much what the plot is revolving around. So I don't know if he's going to escape or not escape, but if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to give away too much things. Okay, on to his sister. His name is Gwen. Gwen has some supernatural powers, which I can't really get into too much because it's kind of spoiler territory. But she was a really nice addition, a nice casting choice for this actress. She was pretty good with it. She handled all the emotional scenes pretty well. I really kind of felt bad for her. I hate it when I see these things on screen. That's why I don't talk about it. But if you've seen The Godfather, you know what I'm talking about. It was a little graphic. I don't want to mention it, but she also lives with her father. The father is just like alcoholic. I just don't want to get into that stuff because it's a kid channel. Even though I know the movie's rated R, I just don't want to get into the nitty gritty stuff. So think Bev from It. Yeah, because it's one of my favorite franchises. So just think about that. Regardless, this movie was really well written. I really enjoyed what they did with it. So now we talked about Gwen, talked about the dad. So another character we need to mention is the Grabber. The Grabber, ladies and gentlemen, was probably one of my favorite horror villains to this day in recent years. I like Pennywise better than him, but the Grabber caught my attention. Like, he was amazing. I really enjoyed every single scene Ethan Hawke did. He was not like Ethan Hawke. I mean, remember from Moon Knight or The Purge? This is not like him. He's not like him to play this, like, psychological, like, Joker type of villain. He really played the role really well. And even though at times, I don't think it gripes. I'll gripes in a minute, but even though at times I still don't feel like he had the much screen time as I wanted, but he was in the movie. So yes, it was really cool to see him. And also he's almost wearing a type of ghost mask. You know the band Ghost, the Ghouls? He kind of reminds me of wearing a ghost mask from Ghoul. Even though Ghost has not existed quite yet. Maybe in the universe they have a church, but I'm not really sure if they do or not. So that's kind of my fan theory. But with that being said, his mask looks really nice. I really liked it. It kind of reminds me of Corey Taylor from Slipknot. When how he has this mask that kind of opens up and closes. It sort of reminds me of that. But the Grabber, guys, was a really, really dirty villain. I just really like his grittiness and urge and regretfulness, and just all his whole emotions, and like how he played him around like the card table. It was on par. It was really on par. Really well job to Ethan Hawke. Ethan Hawke probably deserves an Oscar for this one. Best Supporting Actor. I think it is an amazing job. Amazing job. Also being said, give an Oscar to my boy Tom Cruise for Best Actor of the Year, just because Top Gun Maverick is my favorite movie of the year. So Tom Cruise definitely deserves it. Regardless of this Hollywood talk, now let's move on to things I really enjoyed about this movie. Number one, this movie was spectacular. I gotta say, the whole cinematography just made me feel like I'm really enjoying movies again. This type of movie, like this atmospheric type of movie, is always something I really enjoyed because I just love kids on bikes, kids who look like something from the 80s, and kids in general who really remind me of Stephen King, like Stephen King's works. That's what I imagine when I watch a movie about kids getting abducted. I'm like, small, gross, gritty town, because it was probably a really small suburb down in Colorado where this movie takes place, but it was pretty gritty. I like the rural area of the suburb or metro area. I don't really know what to describe it. Metro area, suburb. I'm gonna go suburb, kind of rural area. Just really found a really nice place and heart to this film. Yeah, because I just love that. And also the wanted posters in this movie remind me of It Chapter 1. I can't tell you enough, this really reminds me a lot of It Chapter 1. I just love atmospherical movies, or just movies with themes in general that has to do with kids, small towns, a mysterious villain they don't know how to stop. That's pretty much why I'm really drawn to it. Like movies like The Goonies, It, The Lost Boys, Stand By Me, all those movies all have one thing in common. Even Black Phone, they all feature a really nice young cast of kids. Yes, kids rule, ladies and gentlemen. Kids rule. They're better than adults at times in movies. It just makes me have more wholesome results as a fan, and just makes me feel like I can relate to them a little bit better, because if you're a young teen, you probably relate to them better than adults. And also kind of easy. Another character is, they actually added a character who really reminds me of who directed this movie in the 80s, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, you know, my one and only, one of my favorite actors of all time, Corey Feldman. There was a kid, I don't want to spoil the character name, but he was amazing. He reminds me of Corey Feldman. If you've seen it, you know what I mean? He looks like a young little Corey Feldman at heart. I'm like, he did a really good job with the wardrobe there. So that's pretty much I can say about everything I really enjoyed, but I really enjoyed the whole atmosphere of like the basement, and I love the Grabber. The Grabber has to be my favorite part in the movie. The Grabber, the kids in general, and also the fan. I love his whole thinking process, and just I love the thinking process of this movie and how it's like different from others. Like, it feels like you're watching an escape room. It feels like you're in an escape room. You're just trying to solve all the puzzle pieces as best you can. It's just one of those movies that really put a smile on my face. I thought it did a fantastic job. One last thing before I close out, things I really enjoyed about it, just the whole movie. I just really loved it. I thought it was a really good standalone movie, and the Grabber easily became one of my new favorite horror villains, just because he's just an amazing guy. So hopefully NECA will actually give us a Grabber figure or Funko. I'm really willing to grab that for the room, just because I just love things like that in general. So there's so much I like about it. Wardrobe, cinematography, the grittiness. It just is an atmospherical. It's like a football game. It's just amazing. just amazing. One of the things I didn't like, I really wish they had more screen time for the grabber, more background to him. I really wanted more of an origin. Even though this movie is an hour 43, which I felt like it was a perfect time frame, I thought they could actually do a little bit more justice to the grabber, maybe a prequel. I don't know, I just really want to know what's more behind him. But the more you don't know about this character, it makes me even more happy. It's almost what they did with Christian Bale. Not Christian Bale, Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger's Joker. It makes me think, or Pennywise. You don't know too much about Pennywise's background, so it just really kind of organically just fits into the puzzle as you build it, if you will. But another thing, I just wish they had added a little bit more screen time with some of the kids. They did in the beginning, but I really wanted a little bit more wholesomeness to it, like more to the end. The ending was alright what they gave us. I just really wanted a little twist, but I don't really see a sequel coming at any time in the future. I think it's like this one standalone movie without anything else, without giving any ending away, but I wish they added more to the finale. So there are a lot of twists and turns about this movie, but I wish they had more curves and more jump scares, stuff like that. Even though it's a psychological thriller, I just wish I had more psychological jump scares. Because there's things I just wanted to see. They built up scenes like I really wanted to see, and he never really fulfills that whole destiny of the character, or going through that direction, if you will. So that's pretty much my biggest gripe out of that film, and just the chronological ways of these characters thinking, and they have the scene, they kind of want to do it, they don't want to execute the plan. Okay, so with all that being said, how do I recommend The Black Phone to other people? Well, if you love Stephen King or anything by Steven Spielberg or 1980s, you would absolutely love this movie. If you love a whole kids cast, and you love that, if you love a big juggernaut villain, you would absolutely love this movie. And this is something you just love about kids on bikes. Well, to me, that is what I recommend it. To people who just love nostalgia and back to the 80s, this is just a film that I highly recommend for you. It's very wholesome, very organic, and a film that I recommend to all different people who are around the adult age. If you have a young one, I'd probably say you watch it before this one. If you handle it, you can probably watch it, but there's only one. I don't think you should really skip this scene, but there's one scene I think parents might have skipped, but I don't want them to skip it because it has to do with the plot. And the whole movie from start to finish was incredible, and I just really love it. So with that being said, this movie is a sub rating of a 10 out of 10. Instant classic for me, and definitely one of my new favorite horror movies. So compared to Nope and Black Phone, what one's better? I'd say Black Phone over Nope, even though I really enjoyed Nope. Well, with that being said, I'm out of here. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later for more Sacha Boss videos like this. And I will see you soon for other videos. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.